The previous chapters of this playlist already covered global and local variables, including their usage in expression and dynamic SQL statement. In this tutorial, we will understand the concept of variable scope when we have inner and outer blocks, also known as nested blocks. If you look into this example stored procedure, we have an outer block from line number 5 to line number 22. It has a global variable declared on line number 7 and a local variable declared on line number 10. If we move further down, we have another inner block starting from line number 12 to line number 16. And if you look into the line number 13, this block has another variable called inner underscore var with a default value of 20. We can refer this variable as an inner variable. So in this example, we have an outer block with outer variables and we have an inner block with inner variables. And there are scenarios during your data development when you have to follow this kind of nested block for various reasons. We will see and practice the visibility of outer and inner block variables and how Snowflake script engine treat different scope visibility. We have already covered many important concepts in this playlist, and if you haven't seen those chapters yet, please watch it after completing this video. The link for all the videos are available in the description section below, or you can also refer my Medium blog page, which provide link as well as sample SQL script for most of the videos. This tutorial will primarily focus on the variable visibility when we have outer as well as inner blocks. So welcome back to my channel Data Engineering Simplified. I will be using the free trial enterprise edition of Snowflake on AWS for this video. You can test all the SQL script used in this tutorial in free trial edition. Refer to the description below for details or downloadable content. For optimal video clarity, ensure that you are watching this video in its highest resolution, which is 4K. If you wish, you can also speed up playback rate to 1.25x or 1.5x to learn faster. You can jump to a specific chapter. The chapter detail is available in the description below, or move your cursor to the chapter marking in the video bar. For discussing specific SQL challenges, design issues, or architectural pattern, or any other feedback or a new topic request, you can connect with me in two simple ways. Send a direct message on my Instagram or join my exclusive Facebook group. To join the Facebook group, simply scan the QR code shown on the screen. And yes, if you are a dedicated Snowflake professional looking to enhance your skill in more structured manner, explore my premium Udemy courses to conquer your fear and level up your Snowflake expertise. So let's start. So I am in my Snow site web UI and this is my sample stored procedure. So this is my outer block definition where line number 8 has a global variable with default value 0. Line number 11 is having a local variable called outer underscore var having a default value of 10. And then from line number 13 to line number 17, I have an inner block which start with the begin keyword and end with end keyword. And it has another variable called inner underscore var. If you look into the line number 16, it is using inner variable and outer variable. And this block has access to inner variable as well as outer variable, including the global variable. And here, this is my expression, which is assigning a new value to the global variable. Let's create this proc. It is created successfully. Now let's quickly describe to see the body of the procedure. So this is my outer block and this is my inner block, and inner block has access to outer variable including the global variable. Now let me execute the stored proc. So I got the result 30, which is expected. If I don't want to create a stored proc and just want to treat this set of line as anonymous block, I can simply select and execute it. This will be treated as anonymous block and it is also returning the same value. Looks good. Now if I copy this statement here and just comment it, let's see what happens. So if you look into the line number 19, I am having an inner var, and this inner var is defined inside this block let's create this stored procedure. So it got created successfully. And now let's call it. It says invalid identifier inner underscore var line number 43. And if I see, now I do not have a line number 43 here, and that's what is a little confusing sometime in Snowflake. The total stored proc is having a 24 lines, and my worksheet is also not having line number 43. So it is very important when you are working with a nested block, and if you are accessing a variable outside of the inner block, then it is little hard for you to identify where this error is coming from. Now what happens if I create another block next to it and I keep the variable name same, and here I specify 30, and let's use global variable plus inner variable plus outer variable. So let's create this procedure. This got created successfully. So I got the result 40. I am reassigning the value with inner variable which is 30 with outer variable which is 10 equals to 40. Now in this case I am able to create duplicate variable name inside the another begin and end block. Okay, now what if I move this block inside this block? Let's see what happens. So this time let me give this number to 25. So now I have this is 20, this is 25. When I'm going to access inner variable, it should access this and not that. Okay, now let me clean this up. Now let's create this proc. And if I call this variable should get 25 plus 10, 35. So now you understood. So if I have another nested block inside a nested block, when I use this variable, it will first access the innermost block, and if it does not find, for example in the case of outer variable, it will try to go and find this variable into the outer space, and if it does not find, it will go to the outermost space to find the variable name. If the variable name is not found, in that case your stored procedure will be created, however during execution it will fail. Now one important thing to remember, so if I try to create an outer variable or a local variable within the begin block which matches with your variable name which is defined in a declare block, then it will not work. Let me show you. So I have defined a duplicate variable here, and let's see what happens. So my stored procedure is created, but when I try to run it, it says global variable is declared twice. So let me remove this. And as we know, stored procedure can also take input parameters, which we are going to discuss in future chapters in our playlist. And if I define a variable as a part of my input parameter and this clashes with my declare variable, let's see what happens. So here during creation of the stored procedure, it says variable name global variable declared twice, line number 3 position 4. So this is my first, second and third line, so here it is going to conflict. So now you have understood so how we can use the variable within the nested block, and if the variable is being used within the nested block, it will first check whether this variable is declared within the nested block or not. If it does not find, then it will go to the outer block, and then finally it will go to the global block. So this is how it traverses from innermost to the outer block and to the outermost block, and then it find the value for this variable and then perform the computation. Please pause the video and look into this example stored procedure that has multiple nested blocks. We have a block from line number 34 to 68. we can call it an outermost block, and it has a global variable declared on line number 36 and a local variable declared on line number 49 using a let keyword. If we move further down, we have two inner blocks starting from line number 41 and from line number 47. Both these blocks are having their own inner variable. If you go down further, we have another inner block starting from line number 53 to 58, and this block has another variable. Since this block is inside another block, we can call this variable inner variable. If we try to access the variable level1 underscore inner underscore var underscore 01 inside the other inner block, it will not be accessible as the scope of that variable defined on line number 43 is limited to that block. So if you look into the line number 51 and 57, level 1 variable cannot be accessed here because this inner block has no visibility to another inner block which is parallel to this block. Likewise, if you see the line number 61, 62 and 63, all inner variable are not visible to this line number. So you can pause here and try to review this entire code base. It looks a little complicated, but once you try by yourself, it will be more clearer and you can write efficient code while building stored procedure or anonymous block using Snowflake SQL scripting. So we have understood how we can create variables with the same name within the nested blocks and how the scope or variable visibility is identified by Snowflake SQL scripting engine, including some of the limitations if variables are created with same name as stored procedure parameter names or global variable names. We also learned when Snowflake throws error during compilation and when it throws error during execution of stored procedures. In the next chapter, we will discuss more about returning a value from a stored procedure and anonymous block, including their limitations. Be sure not to miss the upcoming chapter, which features a hands-on tutorial that is crucial for understanding how to efficiently build stored procedure and anonymous block using Snowflake SQL scripting. I hope you got something valuable from this video. If you did, please hit the like button. Your support not only recognizes the work behind this free content, but also helps others to discover this playlist. And if you think it can help someone else in your team, feel free to share. Thanks for watching and let's spread the knowledge and growth together.